absolutely crazy. And right now, the Wolverine might be a little bit more of a riskier pick now, since Loki is available on the side of Marvel Vietnam as we enter Hell's Haven. We haven't seen this one so far, at least in this day number 2. The first 2 matches have been on the Burden T'Challa map, but this time it's going to be Hell's Haven, and we know how drastic the map movement can be for both of these teams.
Oh yeah, right. Like the ever-changing landscape of this map just proves that you really need to be on your toes. So, you know, if you're a static composition, you want to be moving as a team, and if you dive, that's your opportunity to get in there and wreak havoc. Especially, especially because right now it may look like XOXO01 opting for a bit of a pseudo dive comp. Xena, as well as Alone Phil's trying to maybe wreak havoc on that backline. The portal now being used wisely to take that high ground away from the side of MVN, and that's gonna actually thwart a lot of the heal potential that may come up from a Loki here as they are able to set themselves on the other side of the map. They're rotating around 180 degrees across each other.
This is really smart, actually, coming in from Marvel Vietnam. They're just avoiding the dive potential coming in from XOXO01, and they're just able to rotate themselves into safety. And look at that, the regenerated field is going to provide so much sustain against the divers, and it looks like that is going to pay dividends on the side of MVNEsports, despite Chutire getting absolutely kidnapped to the skies. XOXO01, they have the dive composition going, but they need to time this perfectly, especially with Loki available on the field. And it looks like Marvel Vietnam, they're just going to absolutely break XOXO1's ankles, and they will take the point for themselves. Ooh, what a shot.
Absolutely disgusting from the side of Lich. Yeah, that high in the sky shot on to the Spider-Man to shut it down. Reds and Ace, both strategists out of the way just to be able to secure themselves this point, 11% in climbing, and so the regroup will happen for the side of XOXO. Look, the staggers, you can't be getting away with that, and fortunately, oh no, Silence will fall, an important vanguard for the front line, and XOXO know that they are gonna have to let a few more percentages creep up for Marvel Vietnam.
Yeah, right now MVNEsport, the Loki getting locked for themselves is doing so much work right now. The main anti-dive strategist you can pick, the best scenario you can be in right now as XOXO1. They need to find a way to adjust, but for now it looks like they will retain most of their composition. They do adjust to move onto a different duelist on that Human Torch. But the question is, will that be enough? Will that allow XOXO1 to take over the site? They do get the takeover to about halfway, but right now, strategist ultimates are going to be popped immediately as both teams trying to do their best, but it looks like XOXO1 might find the ground they were looking for as this Wolverine is able to rip apart MVNEsports, or at least half of them.
Yeah, you know, that clone from Loki did their best to be able to maybe sustain using a defensive strategist ultimate at the tail end, but wasn't enough. And so XOXO are going to be able to at least start climbing and have a couple of terrific ultimates. I'm looking at Silence hiding around this corner with potentially a psionic seduction to be able to just rip apart MVNEsports.
We'll see. They're in a good position right now. We'll see if Silence is going to pop it, but there are ultimates on the other side in favor of Marvel Vietnam. We'll see what the plan is here. But right now, XOXO1, they're looking to take control as Sungjik will get the early pick, as Silence is going to be down there to back his team up as the kill feed lights up for XOXO1. And they will continue to creep up that percentage as we do reach that dead even point.
I feel like this is the first time we've seen these maps, you know, especially on Domination, come so close. It's been a bit more of a one-sided affair, but, you know, both these teams making a bit more worth as MVN with the anti-dive composition, trying to take that high point slow and steady. This is where Loki's heals really come in super important, but that's a lone Flitz trying to be a nuisance in that backline. Never mind, falls back to the rest of the team. Worried about dying out there without any sort of support. And here goes that attempt onto that point at the moment here.
Oh, right now True Tiger is holding the strangling prison right now. He is able to find a pick onto Silence, and he goes to the skies yet again. Can he peel himself away from this Wolverine? He will do so successfully, actually, as everyone else piling in their ultimates right now as a great CC, it seemed like, as one member of XOXO01 will go down. Fire tornadoes absolutely lighting up the sky, but right now it looks like it's in favor of XOXO01. Overtime timer is going to be popped, but that timer, look at that meter, it's going down very quickly. XOXO01, can they hold? They will! Round 1, going to XOXO01.
Honestly, Alone Flitz with that Wolverine, the kidnaps onto the group were spectacular. You saw the airtime was incredible. Like, what, 2-3 seconds in the air? And that's so much space that a single Wolverine, a single ability, a Feral Leap can provide for their team. It opens up so much map control as well as angles for the rest of the team to come on in and pick apart the defenses of Marvel Vietnam. And that's honestly how they were able to sustain themselves on that site. So moving on to point number 2. We've seen a bit of a change in configuration at the moment. A single Vanguard for the side of Marvel, actually.
Yeah, they do adjust that. True Tiger actually going off of the group. We'll see if he does swap back. Not really sure, as the countdown does hit 0 and both teams are released. And yeah, like you said, Marvel Vietnam, they're just gonna stick with a solo frontline with this Magneto.
Yeah, and to be fair, it is triple Sentinel, but double Duelist, maybe, a bit of a glass cannon here, as they'll have to really rely on Skinny to provide, and unfortunately gets instantly deleted.
Great trade though coming in from Lich, but it looks like the revive, the BRB, going to kick in for the Spider-Man, and he will continue to wreak havoc as he pulls Tien's into the pits of hell, as he does do more of that. As I don't know, Fitz, he's gonna do his own variation of sending a strategist into hell, as both these teams are using the map terrain to their own advantage. But right now XOXO01 are the ones going to take early control of this point.
A huge big brain moment, honestly, to be able to just play with your food and send them into a place that they cannot recover from at all. No strategist will be able to pull you out of that lava, and that's how they honestly got it off. Now starting things off with the Galactic Legends and Lights with a perfect shot onto the Spider-Man.
Yeah, Sung-Jok Woo, he's absolutely cooking on the Spider-Man, but right now he does get picked away, as Light is able to just take away the Sia coming in from this Rocket Raccoon. As the last stand gonna translate into a double. Eternal Bond going to back up the team even further, and Aelno Phils is just going to go absolutely ham on this Wolverine. The pick in general has been paying dividends to the teams that have been using it, as Sung-Jok Woo trying to do his best. Going to use the terrain, trying to find a way to pull a random member into the abyss. Trying to do his best, working from behind. Now it's his moment to strike, but the regenerate field is perfectly timed to stunt any plans, as the Galactic Legend going to be popped by True Tiger. This was the Groot in that first round, but now goes to the Star-Lord. He realizes that everyone on their team is trying to go for a tank, and True Tiger realizes we could just rock with one Vanguard for the time being. We'll see how the Star-Lord goes now as he tries to do more damage. Sung-Jok Woo just flying all over the map, trying to find any sort of advantage. But for now, as Light is going to zone away members of XOXO01 with the Omega Hurricane, and they will be able to secure the site for just a bit longer.
Wow, Lich opting to use that one pretty early is testament to how much they are worried about, MVNEsports coming back into this, and now the stagger against the Spider-Man is kind of painful. You really need Sungjuk to be in your backline, or in their backline rather, to cause a bit of chaos. And I feel like this map is a lot different from so far what we've casted for. A lot of individual fights that are spraying out across this entirety, and it's down to individual prowess that comes
another
out.
Feral Leap.
The Feral Leap will be able to kidnap and maybe the slice and dice, but the crystals are able to support everyone and keep everyone alive. It's going to be silence on to Skinny, the sole vanguard on Marvel Vietnam. And suddenly, everything's being picked apart. The Born Again is popped to be able to get back Skinny, and Hyro will be able to bring back teams
another great shot.
Defend themselves. Not a great shot though.
Yeah, Lich just absolutely snipes away the Spider-Man, but the Spider-Man does get revived thanks to the BRB. But for now, it is in control of XOXO01. Everyone on Marvel Vietnam needs to watch that timer. That meter is going up, but it looks like the early pick coming in. 2 members of Marvel Vietnam already down. So far, so good is the story for XOXO01. 5 seconds remaining. And someone on Marvel Vietnam needs to tap the site at least to get some sort of overtime, and we won't get it. Not enough time, not enough space given, and XOXO01 will take this game number 1.
I thought perhaps right at the tail end I saw a glimpse of a Doctor Strange portal, but I think maybe it was a little too late from that perspective. It's a little bit more putting Sungjuk back on that Spider-Man, but now Lone Fizz hovering over perhaps an Iron Man pick. Alright, I'd like to see this.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll actually pull through with the Iron Man pick, since Ultron obviously got banned out. So, without that team-up ability, I'm not sure if Iron Man is going to be enough to sustain for himself. So, there's a world where that Iron Man doesn't get pushed through, but for now, both teams obviously are rocking the Loki for the time being, but now it's just a question of how will both of these teams interact with each other. We saw some crazy interaction in game number 1, but will map 2 be the same outcome? As we do head into the final countdown, XOXO01 on the offensive side, Sungjuk Woo trying to get as much space as possible. It does seem like Marvel Vietnam are well aware of where the Spider-Man could be, and a great pull to isolate the Groot into the pole, but the bubble is there in time from the Magneto, perfectly timed by Skitty to save Chew Tiger's life. And oh my goodness, off the rip, we are seeing microplay after microplay.
Yeah, you know, the Spider-Man from Sungjuk just taking the backlines and being a bit of a distraction for MVM, and honestly, they're falling bait for it now. XOXO are going to be able to set up that high ground. A great one punch from Sungjuk onto Teens there. That's one of your duelists out of the way. Sustained damage perhaps might be a problem. Crystals are popped as right now Silence is going to make mince work on Haaland. Lich as well as the San. That's MVN
first point.
just falling to bits at the moment.
Yeah, that's already first point. XOXO01, they do go for a different form of composition. It's just going to be 2 players really on XOXO01 going for the dive. It's just going to be the Captain America and Sungjuk Woo just doing their best to just wreak havoc on MVNEsports backline. And so far, it's looking good for them as they do pass the first point. They do get the symbiote moving, and it's just a matter of can they take it to the end.
Yeah, you know, there's so much. We talked about this map. There's so many ins and outs that can happen.
Oh my god.
And the quick punch, the quick 1-2. Once again, teams falling to the side of Sungjuk. This is so detrimental for the side of MVN.
Yeah, so far it's looking good. He's gonna get more backline access. He has access to the spectacular spin now. Almost everyone on XOXO01 available to use their ultimates as Chew Tiger is able to get a strangling prison. Look at the wombo combo. 4 eliminations on the Kraken Impact. He's gonna do it again, and again. As Light going absolutely crazy as they do defend the push coming out of XOXO01.
It's a perfect combination. The size of the Kraken impact is perfectly the size of that strangling prison, and so MVN fire back, showing them that they mean business here with some beautiful multi-kills coming out. So the regroup from XOXO comes out. They still have the spectacular spin, and if they can get that back line, they can really wreak some havoc here as Sungju goes in for the bit of a kill.
Yeah, spectacular spin available. He's gonna pop it. He's gonna pop it. He's gonna get 2 with the ace. Is able to clean up with the third. Alone Fills is going to go down to the heads of Liked. But for now, Sungju is just an absolute menace on this Spider-Man as XOXO01. They pull the momentum right back.
They continue moving on, and note that Silence has been sitting on that Psionic Seduction. Didn't even have to pull that out for that past map, so can use it in this final push onto point number 2 to really claim victory. They know that this is going to be a bit of a push from MVN, and they want to shut down with strong CC from that ultimate.
Yeah, MVNEsport, they actually adjust from the Groot to the Doctor Strange on Chu Tiger as they try their best to move in. Liked is still waiting in the wings to try to find an opportunity. Silent Seduction is going to zone away MVNEsport for a little bit as everyone on MVNEsport doing their best to defend this symbiote from reaching the second point, but their defense is just going to fall immediately as XOXO01, they're looking good to push, but it looks like MVNEsports, they're trying to find some resistance right now, but for now it's looking good, and they will be able to secure the second point.
Oh, Goddess of Death really tried to provide a little value, a little bit of stall against the attackers, but it was not meant to be. XOXO continued their parade down this third point at the moment, throwing Loki clones into everyone's way. That's so many bodies onto the site that they have to deal with, and honestly, the sustain from the strategists so far have been so good.
Right now, it looks like the saving grace for Marvel Vietnam is the Kraken impact baby combo with the Eye of Agamotto, but Chu Tiger getting dangerously low. The invisible domain going to be popped on both ends as the Kraken impact is going to be used. Alone Fills is going to fire a pulse cannon into 2. A strategist and a duelist on the side of Marvel Vietnam off the table for just a few seconds. Alone Fills just wreaking havoc on the side as Light trying to do his best to try to keep this momentum on the side of XOXO01 from going any further, and it looks like he's doing a good job as of right now as XOXO01 need to fall back and regroup just for a tiny bit longer.
Honestly, Alone Flips with that plasma cannon shot into a invisible dimension was high risk, high reward, and fortunately did not pan out as now Senta on the Venom trying to dive in.
Here we go.
The invisible boundaries popped once again. Maybe the Eye of Agamotto, not just yet.
Yeah, for now, it's looking like everyone trying to throw their ultimates into the kitchen sink, but so far 2 members of Marvel Vietnam going down, making a third as Sungju is able to find another pick. This Spider-Man just doing so much work right now as XOXO01 already halfway towards that third point. MVNEsport, they need to find a way to get in. Chu Tiger very close to getting the Eye of Agamotto. So is Liked on that Kraken impact. But XOXO01, they do have their own methods of going for this fight. Spectacular spin, going to go ham, and a multi-man stun as 2 picks off the rip, and it's looking good for XOXO01 as they are able to just wipe out MVNEsport. A 3-0 for XOXO01, and now the ball is in Marvel Vietnam's court.
They have so much that they need to live up to. It's a bit of an Everest trek towards, basically they have to at least overtime this and bring us into a repetition loop on this convergence, right? That's as much as they need to do, and then give us a map 3 to keep themselves in the running for that point in the group stages. But at the moment, that combo wombo right at the end with the spectacular spin, and plus the Feast of the Abyss was just too much to handle. We had all these people tucked into a corner, right? That's the beauty that comes out from XOXO combining all their ultimates. We saw the one combination, the Kraken impact with that strangling prison. Then we saw a couple of others as well. I mean, this is rehearsed, Dan.
Yeah, this was well coordinated, well planned from these teams. But right now, XOXO01 have the advantage right now. They did get the 3-0. They have a lot of time in their own bank. And it's just a matter of MVN. Can they do the same, if not better? But for now, only time will tell as the final countdown comes down. The gates are open. And now MVNEsport are on the offensive.
Once again, a singular Vanguard. Skinny on the Magneto, wanting to maybe make some space. We'll have to be very careful about using the shields in the bubble. Has to be meticulous because it's the only thing standing between them and the rest of their team.
Yeah, and on the side of XOXO01, they do go for a different composition. Songjok-woo, instead of the Spider-Man, going over to the Human Torch, but Chu Tiger is able to get an early pick right now. Might be able to get a second onto Songjok-woo, but he's able to get healed up. But these shots from Chu Tiger are absolutely perfect. Not a single one have missed, and now Marvel Vietnam, they're looking really, really good as they push forward, push into the first point. As XOXO01, they are so staggered. I think they just concede this first point.
I think they have to, honestly. I thought XOXO, they put their sights, they put so much attention on the edge. Okay, Nevin Sanju trying to make it interesting, gets on the point. The last person that second, denying the point away. Crystals a pop, but will eventually drop. And it's just too little, too late. It's going to be the point converted for the side of Marvel Vietnam.
Not quite sure why XOXO01 opted to use the teleport right there, using the portal. They already got the first point.
Couldn't get there in time, I think.
Yeah, it did seem like it was a little too late. As the Lens not able to get as much value as he had hoped with the Strange portal. And now it just seems like XOXO01 are on the back foot for now. Alone Phils has access to the back line. Look at his position right now. Dance of the Butterfly at around 80% full. There's the regenerative field coming in out of that Loki. Will that prove to be a great opportunity for Alone Phils to use that Dance of the Butterfly? We'll be able to find a pick onto Chu Tiger, but the Eternal Bond is going to force Alone Phils to wait on that ultimate. Just a few more seconds and he'll have a great opportunity to pop that ultimate and just go absolutely ham. But now the question is, when will it be popped? Right now is the perfect time, but Tien's now has the Soul Resurgence, will pop it immediately. Hyel is going to layer that on top of that Soul Resurgence with the Eternal Bond, but look at Light on this Bucky just going absolutely crazy in the backline as well.
Eye of Agamotto now popped, trying to get so much value onto the site. Supernova as well to be able to shut down the Loki, which is so much sustain, as well as the Meteor and Dunk. Doesn't get anyone value, but sends everyone scattering in the wind. MVN are holding on to this point and they're pushing along. And oh my gosh, Captain America denied entrance as well.
Oh my gosh, MVNEsport, they're looking good right now. They're doing it so much faster than XOXO01. Look at the time remaining. They've got 5 minutes to work with to get this point to the third checkpoint. But for now, XOXO01, they need to find ways to get into this. They need to find ways to break through MVNEsports' offense. But for now, overtime is looming in the distance unless XOXO01 are able to capitalize, but so far it's not looking the greatest for them as Chu Tiger actually does go down. 2 picks going in favor, 3 picks in favor of XOXO01. Invisible Domain is available, but it doesn't look like it's going to be needed as half of MVNEsport is going to need to respawn, and on top of that, they're going to get staggered as well.
Wow, using the invisible dimension so far forward is a bit of a gamble. They really want, MVN to fight their way out at every single corner, make sure they can drain down some cooldowns and reset those timers. But now it's going to be both duelists coming out with their ultimates. Omega Hurricane trying to disrupt. The Crystal's out to provide some reprieve, but Kraken Impact is now in.
Kraken Impact is available. MVNEsport, they have a lot of ultimates to work with. Both strategists have their ultimates available. Actually make that 3 as Hyel did pop the Eternal Bond recently, but here we go. Light with the Kraken Impact is only able to capitalize on 1, but uses the reset to get himself to join his team. But now, just one more good fight in favor of MVNEsport, and they will have a huge, huge advantage going into overtime.
Yeah, Supernova now popped at the very least. It's going to be asking everyone here to kind of group up at the moment, especially with the fate of both worlds opting to try and negate some of the powerful damage. So Sungjuk not going to be able to find anything as well.
Yeah, great timing coming in from Tien's with the Soul Resurgence. Sungjuk actually getting a way to get around to the backline. The Eternal Bond is going to be popped on the side of XOXO01. This is just the last stand on the side of XOXO01 to go down already, and so far Chu Tiger trying to clean up what is left of XOXO01 is able to find 2 with the help of Tien's. Tien's will find a 3rd, and it's looking likely overtime is here. Here we go. The Eye of Agamotto too little, too late, and now we go into overtime. Marvel Vietnam with a 1-minute advantage.
We set the scene, didn't we, Dan? Right?
Oh my gosh.
Marvel Vietnam have a mountain to climb, and they're chipping away. They are slow and steady. No, they're fast and furious. They're running up this mountain as quick as they can, just pushing that cart along. Getting a minute on top of your opponents is phenomenal, right? You think we can dive? We'll force you back at every single corner we can bring. And it's amazing to see them play like this.
Yeah, now sides are flipped yet again. MVNEsport, they know this situation too well. They are going to be on the defensive side. XOXO01 will be the ones to push first. And look at the adjustments coming in from XOXO01. Ultron going to be utilize Adam Warlock as well. They do have the Guardians of the Galaxy team up combination with the Adam Warlock, Star-Lord, and Mantis. We'll see if that proves to be the best approach as we head into the attacking side for XOXO01.
I mean, we saw Dopamine run that during that first map a couple, like an hour ago, and just the sheer number of people, because of the cocooning effect, that team up is so powerful. So MVN trying to maybe opt for a bit of a high ground advantage, wanting to deny this left side away from XOXO, which they're slow but steadily moving towards. We're gonna have a huge brawl here on this high ground.
Yeah, one thing to note, XOXO will need to move fast. Even if you capture the first point, you're forced to stay within the point, because you don't get extra time if you take that first zone. And now XOXO01, they need to find a way to get in, but look at the kill feed. It's lighting up in favor of Marvel Vietnam as Chu Tiger just absolutely ripping everyone to shreds. 1 minute now, the time remaining for XOXO01 to push onto this first point. Can they do it, or will they fall before they even reach the first point?
Maybe the Guardians of the Galaxy team up, not quite working their way. Silence back onto, Emma Frost, trying to see if they can maybe punch their way through with some good shields, and Zeta already on that back line, trying to maybe disrupt as the Captain America. We dive straight in.
Oh yeah, Omega Hurricane now available for Chu Tiger. Will pop it immediately. Does Ultron trying to do his best with the team up ability. The Pulse Cannon is perfectly placed to deny the Omega Hurricane. But for now, XOXO01, they need to keep going. They need to keep pushing. The time running low. Rage of Ultron going to be popped. He gets a triple with it. A triple elimination. Make it a quad elimination. Ace, the Ultron adjustment proves to be successful as they are able to get that first point. Ace just gets a penta. Why not? They just get the first point.
Why not?
They should be able to get it with relative ease. And it looks like they're only putting a few people on the site just to let everyone else on XOXO01 to get some room, get that extra control. They need whatever they can, because if the moment they lose control of that site, their side to get any more points is going to be over.
You see the side of the Flyers being so crazy at the moment. It's going to be the Meteor M trying to come down, but cover with some good strategies. Never mind, Alone Fist does go down regardless. That's the Iron Man out of sight, and doesn't have the ultimate either.
Oh my gosh, everyone, look at all those particles. Look at all the abilities, all the ultimates going to be popped immediately. Soul Resurgence now popped by Tien's. but that overtime meter slowly but surely diminishing. Can Marvel Vietnam stunt this push, or will they allow XOXO01 to push? The Omega Hurricane coming back once again. So many ultimates being used as Alone Phil's trying to do his best to keep his team alive on this site, but it's looking to fall in favor of Marvel Vietnam. That bar is so damn close to closing, but Silence and the rest of his team are able to keep the push going. Every meter counts right now.
Every meter does, right? And XOXO have it within their power to maybe get past these corners. The gamble for them to push forward with a couple of flyers of their own, make it hard for even MVM to step up from the choke here. And actually, just round the corner, Zetha is also hiding as the Captain America to disrupt that backline. This is what you want, to not have them assemble for a coordinated attack onto the cart.
Yeah, right now, both teams have a golden opportunity to find some sort of pick. The ultimate's not quite available on a single member right now. Alone Phil's has a good opportunity to pop his ultimate. Rage of Ultron going to be popped on the side of XOXO01.
Wow.
We'll see when the opportunity to go in is. It's actually going to be Ace again, another triple, and now the rest of the team just clean up, and they're gonna keep going. They're gonna get the second point.
Ace being an absolute monster this particular OT brings so much value. I mean, this is why some teams choose to ban this Ultron, taking to the skies, being able to support their Alone Fliz plus the team up to have some damage as well as attack. It is unprecedented, and now wanting to once again push forward, make it expensive for MVM to even touch this point.
At the damage. So much damage coming in from Ace, and now how much more can XOXO01 push right now? They're just somehow, some way still alive, kicking and screaming, trying to get as much of an advantage as possible to keep MVNEsport from any sort of comeback, any sort of force of a game, number 3. But so far, it's looking like it's going to end right here. XOXO01 slowly but surely falling to pieces, but then again, a very, very good push coming in.
You know what? I just thought about that map, that third map, that tunnel. The tunnel was their downfall, right? Like, they're so flyer heavy, but the moment you can tackle the site, which is exactly what MVN did, get onto the cart under the cover and protection of the tunnel, the flyers were negated from that perspective. They forced everybody else, cleared off that, and stopped the cart in the tracks. Okay.
Oh my
gosh. Now, honestly, my heart is pumping, Dan.
We have a time to breathe right now. We have a little bit of a lull moment. About 40 seconds to be exact. But for now, the big question is, they do have a minute advantage. Marvel Vietnam, they have an extra minute to take over the first site, maybe possibly more. Can they do it? That is the question. True Tiger has been on fire with these left clicks coming out of the storm. So we'll see what the approach is here. Skinny opting to be the solo Vanguard again. Will it work out, or will it be XOXO01 getting the 2-0 victory?
My eyes are on Ace. Right, my eyes are on Ace, who has done spectacular powers in the past, taking to the skies once again, along with Alone Fliz. And it's going to be MVN taking the long approach onto Skinny on that Magneto. True Tiger taking to the skies once more. You know, we had those early picks off, but the sedation comes in early to maybe separate those picks out.
Yeah, so far looks like MVNEsport do take the run it down mid, brute force approach. So far, XOXO01 doing their best to keep Marvel Vietnam from advancing any further. Charge up your ultimates, charge up any advantage, but Tienz gets a random shot onto Sungjok Woo. That's a strategist out of the table. Is this the opportunity for Marvel Vietnam to push in? We'll see how it goes. It does mean Sungjok Woo needs extra time to join the team, as the Eternal Bond from Hyel in favor of Marvel Vietnam is going to be popped. as everyone on Marvel Vietnam are just gonna pile into the site, and it looks like first point should be an inevitability.
Yeah, Ace was also taken out. The flick onto Lone Phil's from the side of Lich was absolutely disgusting, just to be able to put a cherry on top of that. And they do able to get this cart moving along with a minute 12 seconds left. It's a minute and 12 seconds more than XOXO had. I think they ran into overtime before they were able to get that cart moving along. So not really taking a forward approach, True Tiger, just poking and prodding from behind cover, but will be contested by Ace themselves.
Yeah, Ace as well as Alonefils just doing what they can to stay flying, stay pumping out that damage. Look, you can see Ace utilizing that that team up ability, but a great multi-man Eye of Agamotto, but it's immediately denied by the Eternal Bond coming out of Marvel Vietnam. Skinny is able to get a pick onto Sung Jung Woo with the Meteor M as so many ultimates going to be popped. Here comes the Omega Hurricane. He's going to get one, but Celens is able to get a trade of his own. Skinny going to get another elimination as Light is able to get one as well. MVNEsport, they are trying their best. They are trying to push in as True Tiger finds an opportunity to take out both the flyers of XOXO01. And can they get the push onto the second point in time before XOXO01 are able to regroup?
You really see Skinny up front, just trying to deny all this space from this choke point that is. But somehow, you know, XOXO are going to dance around, use the map to the advantage, and maybe take this high ground from the backside.
Yeah, they're going to come from behind. We'll see if that pays dividends. We've seen some rotations in the past, but this is probably going to be the most important one. Ace is able to find one pick with the Rage of Ultron. Kiel trying to do what he can to find some sort of target to go onto, but it looks like Marvel Vietnam, they're holding. They're going to keep pushing. They're going to get 2 more picks. But for now, the push, can they keep going? Can they get to the second point? It looks like the answer might be a resounding yes. We are tied, and now they need to do one more step. They need to get to the same point that XOXO01 were able to do on their own push.
63 meters and 55 centimeters. That is the target to push somewhere in the middle of this.
Here comes the
this
portal.
Particular tunnel, and the portal comes out from the back just about to contest. The Hawk is online as well for a brawl factor under the tunnel at the moment. It's gonna be the Eye of Agamotto catching out many members.
Oh my god, this is it. Is XOXO01 actually going to hold it with the portal? We'll see, because Tien's did get stunned up, did have the Soul Resurgence, but it's looking too little too late. Can Marvel Vietnam hold? It doesn't look likely. Everyone's falling like flies. There's a Desperation Iron Fist as well, and they can't close it out. XOXO01 at the skin of their teeth, sweating, almost throwing that lead, and they are able to secure the 2-0 victory.
Something like, what, 58 meters versus 63 at the tail end. Unfortunately, Marvel Vietnam could not hold on tight.
Oh my god.
And although it went the distance, you know, the 3 for 3 right at the tail end even had a minute on top of their opponents, but it is XOXO going to be able to secure themselves that first point within the group stages. This was bone-chilling and hair-raising from my perspective. So many adaptations.